Kings and Mike Brown had table talks. Who do you think leaked that story and why? I know we had said Friday, hey, it's late, it's a news dump. That kind of smells like the team would do it. The more I think about it and the more I look at the reaction to it, I don't know why the team would do that.
Yeah, I think that's Mike Brown's camp.
Yeah.
And here's why. Let me follow the ant trail or whatever it's called. The day before or that morning, Carmichael Dave says, two sides, it's not if, but when. They're close, you know? Mm-hmm. That seems like a team kind of source that would tell Dave that.
I'm assuming Dave is very well connected to the minority ownership group.
The team, right, exactly. From, the team standpoint, not necessarily Mike Brown's camp. I don't think Carmichael David would get his information, but from the team, 24 hours later, something totally opposite comes out. And so I think that was from Mike Brown's camp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you do that to sort of put pressure on the organization. You say, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is Mike Brown. Sign him. Don't do this again, And so that's why when it came out, I did not like the tenor of it, the tone of it, because this should be a harmonious marriage here. There should not be any bumps or bruisers. This is our Ubuntu kumbaya moment. Everything is good. Let's keep the good times rolling. And that's why it hurt me so much the other day.
Yeah, and if they're negotiating, which they were, I guess they're not now, but there's obviously a lot of give and a lot of take. There's no reason to fire shots publicly. Right?
There really is. Yes, but people like to negotiate in the media, through the media. And now, it's who's the pressure on right now? Now it's on the Kings not to mess this up.
But if it was the Kings that leaked it, no, actually, we agree it's Mike Brown, right? Because as I say, the Kings did it, then they ended up looking bad.
They looking bad, horrible. Yeah, why would they
leak that? Right. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Rich joins us. Rich, you got some thoughts on this Mike Brown situation?
Yeah, I do. I enjoy your show. It's lively, and you get people, wanting to call in like me.
Appreciate that.
I enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoy it. Kyle is great. I know exactly where he stands on this, so let me finish my point. Mike Brown's a great guy. Budenhauser was fired after winning a title. Bickerstaff was let go after making the playoffs, not losing in a play-in game. Mike Brown has made very serious gains and very serious mistakes. He's not the Messiah. Yes, I'd like Mike to get his bucks and get 10, 12 million a year. But as a businessman, Mike, you got to show, if you had made the playoffs this year, clearly, and I know there's the excuse that Malik was hurt, but you didn't even want to start Malik, and he had a big beef with you. I think the Kings are right in putting the pressure on Mike and saying, bro, you make the playoffs this year, we show improvement, you show improvement, you got a big fat deal. You don't make the playoffs, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Better coaches with better records and more credentials have been fired doing less than Mike did. So I think that it's a great tactic. I think he needs to feel the heat. If he gets a contract, I think it would be a mistake. That's just my opinion.
Thank you for sharing, Rich. Obviously, that's a dangerous position in some ways for the Kings to take. But what do you make of that?
Well, I'll let Rich say his piece. He already said he knows where I stand on that.
Oh, see, he buttered you up.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I know, because I want to be fair. Just because we disagree, me and you, Whitey, I'm gonna let you have your piece. I'm gonna let Rich have his piece. Here's the thing, though, about Mike Brown and why I believe he shouldn't just, coach this lame duck year, and if you make the playoffs, great. And he mentioned all those other coaches in the past who got fired. The problem the Kings are having is those organizations didn't have the history of the Sacramento Kings, botching the coaching situation, botching front office. To me, and I've only been here 3-4 years, this just finished my 4th season, but what I hear from Kings fans and those in the media is that we've had these issues before. Let's not mess this one up. We've gotten rid of Dave Yeager. We've gotten rid of Michael Malone. We ran guys out of town. Let's not do that with Mike Brown. Let's not go down this path again. We thought we had learned something. We thought this was a new day, a new organization, a new vibe, and it's coming across as the Kings being the same old Kings. Mm-hmm. So I got to see how it plays out, obviously. But whether it's $9 million or $11 million, are we really going to let a couple of $1 million, $2 million, $6 million over 3 years determine whether or not Mike Brown is our coach?
That's why I have to assume it's a significant gap. Maybe not, but I agree with you. If you're kind of close, I think the report that Dave had said, was it Dave or there's been so many reports now? One report was Mike Brown seeks 9 to 11 million.
Yeah, 9 to 11, right?
Yeah. So let's say the Kings are coming in at 8. If they are, if you know, that's if you're like 8 and they're 9 to 11, you don't table talks because you're close.
Right.
So if they're looking 9 to 11 and you're tabling talks, there must be a
maybe they're at like 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be very discouraging, you know, because to your point, if they're at 8 and Mike says, I'll take 9 to 11, $1 million over 3-4 years, $4 million. Like what is that's chump change in the NBA. And so I hope that it's not over a couple of $1 million like that.
I wish I could represent Mike Brown in this because I would tell the Kings based on the Mark Stein report, which was the front office is upset that they didn't do anything, A, in the playoffs last year, B, didn't get to playoffs this year. I would say, look, last year it was the defending world champions, right? And took them to a game 7.
Yeah.
And our best player broke his finger early in the series, and we still almost won the series. Now, I know there's no excuses, but that's a fact.
It's a
we
fact.
almost won that series. Yeah, we thought we should have won. We didn't win. This year, I don't want to point fingers, but they didn't give me anybody. They didn't give my guy anybody. They stood pat and did nothing while every other team in the West was adding players. So how, maybe you're barking up the wrong tree there. If you're upset about the coach, maybe you should be upset at somebody else about that.
And that's what I was talking about, Whitey. And I urge people to call in because this is pissing me off right now, this Mike Brown slander. I see it on the text line. Hit us up, 916-339-1140. Why do you think Mike Brown should get paid or shouldn't get paid? I want to hear from you. Here's the thing, and you just brought it up, Whitey. We didn't make any significant changes. I watched everybody in the West pretty much get better. Mm-hmm. And we still won 46 games. We still had a chance to advance to the actual playoffs. We were only 2 games off of last year's pace without making any significant changes. It's like this, Whitey. It's like cooking a meal with the same old groceries you got. We ain't had no fresh fruit. We ain't had no fresh lettuce. We had wilted lettuce. We had a day-old pasta. Like, we're trying to make a meal, a gourmet meal with expired groceries. You got to add freshness. And I know they tried. Monty tried. Sasha, obviously, Chris Duarte. But those guys didn't have the kind of season that we hoped. And so, like I said before, Mike Brown had his shortcomings. He was not perfect, no doubt about it. But 46 wins in this West, with that roster, with this injuries, with the production where guys, even De'Aaron Fox was less efficient, from the field. Like, I thought Mike did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Keeping the team together, too, counts for something.
The point isn't, blame Monty. You don't have to blame anybody, but it's just you can't blame Mike Brown for that.
Right.
Monty tried. Okay, there's circumstances. You don't have to blame him, but don't blame the coach.
Don't blame the coach. Exactly. I mean, I thought Mike, like I said, did a hell of a job. 46 wins. We were right in it until the last week of the season.
Held the team together,
Held the team. This team could have fallen apart. Yeah. Trust me. There were some instances getting our butts kicked by the Pelicans time and time and time again. Malik and Mike bumping heads, but then hashing it out. Like, what's interesting about a coach, and you know this, Whitey, you've been around the game, it's not always just about X's and O's. Phil Jackson wasn't the best X's and O's guy, but he was a manager of egos and personalities. I feel like Mike Brown is a manager of egos and personalities, and he kept this team together. And so I'm not going to accept any slander right now and say Mike Brown's the reason. If he doesn't want to take it, he could get the stepping. Are we really I just looked it up, Whitey. Out of the how many years now? 29 years, I think it is, the Kings have been here in Sacramento. Mike Brown has the 6th highest winning percentage and the 7th highest winning percentage of each season. The 48 wins, 6 highest winning. And the other 5 came during Rick Adelman's run when they, had tremendous success. He's been the second best coach in the history of the Sacramento Kings. And we got some people saying, take it or leave it, or show me, prove it. He's already proven it, in my opinion.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 is it time for the Kings to pay Mike Brown. We'll come back with that. Also, we'll look at